What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle, where I am desperately trying to feed my fat face, because I'm hungry. My fat face needs lots of food, or else I starve and go crazy. It didn't rhyme, but it's a song that's thematic and about the thing that we're working on. You need to chop some more wood right now, some more wood. Yeah, it looks like you actually can't use this while it's flooded, so yeah, it becomes inoperable. That's only minorly irritating, so that's cool. It's not a major hindrance. It's a hindrance, though. We need another couple boards. I'm trying to make a bunch of storage chests in here so I can start sorting things out and make it kind of like a fallback point for all of our stuff. Hopefully the pigman doesn't steal out of it, but you never know with those pigmen. He's like, whoa, man, that's racist. You just came to my island, been using my resources, now you're going to accuse me of thievery? It's messed up, dude. It's messed up. So anything that I don't know... Oh, look at that. The parasol falls apart. That's not good. Well, I wouldn't have made it then if I had known that. I'm going to put all the useless stuff in here that I don't know what it does for right now. The limestone, I think we can make stone blocks or something out of. I think. So, refinement menu. What do we have available? We can make rope. Rope is pretty useful. It allows you to make spears, if I remember correctly. And those should be in the weapon menus right there. And so, yeah, the spear is super sick. It does a ton of damage compared to all the other weapons. At least until you get some of the late game stuff. But right now, it's pretty much the best self-defense object you can have. We can make a sign, other refinements. We can make cut stone. What can I do? Oh, you can make a gold nugget out of 3 doubloons. There it is. So we learned what it does. Gold! We got a fashion melon. Refreshing but sticky. That seems like a really bad plan. The brain of thought. Aren't you clever? Brainy matter, jellyfish, and rope. Looks like it's some kind of hat, maybe. In the refinement menu, it says I have other things available. Oh, it's just the cut stone, so I'll just make that real fast. What did he just eat? I don't know what he just ate, but I hope it wasn't something important. I hate it when things eat things that are important. You can eat the things that are unimportant. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm trying to make a good base for right now, so I know my playstyle is probably going to bore people, but I like getting in here and, like, ensuring my long-term survival first, and then I go out and explore afterwards. Like, I'm not the kind of person to just sail off into the sunset and play things all willy-nilly and just hope for the best. That's just not me. That's never been me. It never will be me. And so, unfortunately, ain't much I can do about that. I'm a cautious human being when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm going to keep on going with all this. If I scare him, does he drop doubloons? Or does he poop the doubloons? Oh, I touched a snake bush. Well, that's no fun. Snake, why you gotta be like that all the time? You know I'm gonna stab you with a spear. That pig seems really, really agitated by snakes. I'm gonna take that communally to mean that snakes are bad for him and I. Keep planting these as we go along, although putting them somewhere near my base would probably be the smarter idea. But we're already over here. I mean, that would make me walk all the way back to the right, and it's so far away. And I don't feel good about it, so I'm gonna drop the egg over there. It's kind of like dropping the ball, but not really the same. Take this over here, and I'll probably plant that right there. It's weird that I can't use the vines for anything. Like, I was hoping I could use the vines for something useful, but it looks like they're kind of just wrapped up. I think you use them for rafts, and that's pretty much it. But why wouldn't you just use ropes for that? I mean, a rope seems a little bit more structurally secure than any other lashing you could make from random raw materials. It's probably what I would stick with. I'm leaving the limpets alone for right now, by the way. Alright, so we store that in there. I'll come back to that in just a minute. I needed to refine further. I need like 2 more chests, and then we'll be good. And so we got that guy right there. That's all taken care of. Build a second chest over on this side. Cool. First chest is going to be for like useless objects, or at least like random objects that I don't necessarily need right now, so I don't have to carry them around with me. The second one will be for, I guess, resources. Sounds pretty good. I don't know what the limestone's for, so it's going to go in there. The vines are obviously for making more rafts. And then raw resources will go inside this one. At least the raw resources that I don't immediately need inside my hand right this second. And so the palm leaf's in there. That's all good. We got a little bit of time left today. We don't have a ton of food, but I think that's because I've mostly just been ignoring my responsibilities when it comes to feeding myself. So let's run off. Let's see if we can find some trees. I need wood, and then I also need some kind of food. And so I think it'd be good to go in. Wow, we are deforesting this island with a quickness. The resources are rapidly diminishing out here. That's not what I desired. I think I right-clicked, but sometimes the game likes to resist me and be like, no, please don't right-click. And I'm like, no, I'm right-clicking, and I go in like super hard. Maybe it's a bit too much. Maybe that's why. Maybe I should stop trying to gorilla pivot through and go with some finesse for once. Finesse not my style, though. It's not my style. Sometimes you gotta gorilla. Gorilla's gonna gorilla, you know? I think I left my crab traps over here, too. They are probably filled at the moment to the brim with dead fish that mean nothing to me. Oh, actually, that one hasn't been filled in again. That's not too bad. We're starting to get hungry, which means we're going to have to deal with our sanity falling off pretty soon. Chop this little guy down, and hopefully we get a dub coconut out of it. There we go. Love those dub coconuts. You can also plant them to make more coconut trees, and since you get double, if I eat half the supply and I replant half the supply, that might actually work out in a suitable fashion. Suitable fashion. That'd be punny if there was some kind of like fashion in this game, or like suits that you could wear. That one only gave me one. It's getting late and it's gonna be dark soon. I would pipeline a couple of crabs over to that previous location if I cared enough, but I've decided as of right now I don't think I care enough. I think I'm just gonna run around and gather the things that I desire. There's some seeds up there. I think I need the seeds for planting later on, and so I probably want to go get a decent stockpile of those. 15 to 20 will do it for the long term, though. I gotta figure out where we get manure from, too. I don't even know if you can get manure on the islands any longer. It might not be something that's instantaneously available. Picking up grass might be a good call, too, since our supply is a little bit lower than max. Little bit left or right of center. Center is 0, and so it could be negative or positive. It doesn't really matter to me. Or a little bit lower than the maximum value, which is where I like to keep things. Got enough wood to restock this fire on up. Nice, that'll hold us for the eve. It appears as though we can gather sand in some way. Where'd my shovel run off to? I don't know if this is worth it to do, but I'm going to try it out for right now. Nothing else to do. I mean, do they respawn maybe? It's got to be like a node, I think. Just for getting more sand, which could be for glass. It could be for just about anything, in all honesty. I assume we can refine it into something. So you can make a hay wall from right there. Don't really want that. You can make a sandcastle if you got, like, seashells. I don't know if that makes me happy or what it does, but let's try it out. I'm going to make a sandcastle real fast. Let's take that. And then over on this side, I should probably feed myself in just a minute, too. Was it under the structural menu? It was. Therapeutic and relaxing. Sandcastle. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. It gives me sanity. I like that. I also like building sandcastles. They're fun. Sandcastles, it's an enjoyable... Actually, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to plant these two. So let's plant one right there and a second one right there. And I'm going to do my best to populate this and turn it kind of into like a berry farm like you would in the normal game. Since we've got the sandcastle up and running, I got the food right there. We'll cook that off. This should be enough to get us back up to positives. I hope. Maybe. Well, maybe not. Maybe I let it fall off too far. But during our adventures here, let me grab another axe while we're out here too, because I've always got an axe to grind with the universe. We've got a limpet rock on that side. I'm probably just going to grab limpets for right now. Once we get all the limpets, then we'll start exploring again, gathering seaweed while we're out and about. This time I'm going to clear out my inventory so that if we go to other islands, we can start grabbing some of the more important stuff that we need. Some more seeds up here. I'm going to grab them before he eats them. Keep an eye out for coconut trees. That's the only thing that I really want right now. If we get some coconut trees, that'd be fabtabulous. Sticks are looking pretty good, too. And so we got a coconut tree right here. We'll go ahead and deforest that. We're really just relocating. We're getting wood out of them, and then we're relocating them down next to our base. So that when the time comes, we have a pretty good supply of coconuts. However, if we only get one out, we're not going to eat them, so I'll eat the surplus. Basically, I'm keeping a mental count of how many of these trees we're chopping down for right now. I'm right about due for my game to lag out on me pretty soon, too, and so I may have to do another cut. There we go. That one decided to be a good neighbor and drop 2. I see another tree over here, and in fact, it is full of nuts. Kind of trying to get the groundwork in for our long-term survivability right now, so that we can explore as much as we want, and then we just touch base every 2 to 3 days to refill all of our meters, and then we go back out. Preparation at this point is going to be largely left to metagame. I don't know what's coming in terms of like tropical winter or monsoon or anything like that. The nights have gotten longer. I don't know if you've noticed, but the little wedge up here has gotten larger. It used to be 1 and now it's 2. That's a little concerning. It's not like really concerning, but my guess is that we're probably going into the nasty season pretty soon. And so getting things like thermal rocks and clothing, I don't even know what you hunt anymore to get some of the clothing out. I think also a drying rack might be a decent idea. So if we get some sticks together, we might be able to take some of the raw meat we have and dry it for later so that we got a big supply of jerky. I don't know if the pigs will come by and take stuff off of our drying racks, but these are just all the things that I have in mind right now. I'm trying to keep you guys inside my thought process so it doesn't seem like we're totally aimless, just making like funny haha quips the whole time. There is a plan here. It's just that I like to set up base camp first, then we go do other things. I don't know how long the sandcastle lasts. Oh, look at that. We got a crab over here. Good. I'll probably bring the trap back with me this time around because I want it to be on the other side of the island so I don't have to relocate quite so far in order to get my hands on things that I need. Got another crab right here. Trying to decide what I can ditch without really feeling the sting here. Seashells are kind of unimportant. I might need them later, but now is not that time. It appears as though we are oh so hungry again. I'm going to run around with my trap in hand since I don't really have much of an option for right now. We're going to circle around and back around to the bottom of the island. Once we do that, we should be all squared away. I think all of our random little civic restructurings, we're trying to make society here on this island. We don't want to be Robinson Crusoe for too long. Not if we can help it, and so we're keeping things moving. It's looking good. I probably shouldn't have destroyed those limpet stones. That was more than likely a mistake. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? When we glide through? When we glide through? What you gonna do? Character's pretty hungry, though. Probably about time for us to knock down some rocks, too. Where's the closest crab hole here? There's got to be a crab hole around here somewhere, right? There's one. I don't know if that's necessarily the crab hole for me, but it'll do. It's closer to base, so I can check on it easier with less effort. Okay. Looking good. Looking very, very good. I'm pleased with our progress. A drying rack. So if we grab a few more saplings out of here, I think you need ropes, you need drying racks and some other stuff. I'm sorry, you need ropes, you need twigs and some other rando little things in order to get the drying rack going. So for survival, yeah, the backpack's probably a good call too. Let's go after that. We got a thatch pack, which lets you carry a light load. We've also got a straw roll, which will help out greatly if our sanity ever gets way, way too low. As far as food goes, the jerkiest of rocks, and so, or the jerkiest of racks, we need charcoal, which means I need to start a forest fire. And then we also need ropes. Not too bad. Workable. Completely and totally doable. I'll probably craft a couple more ropes, and then we'll throw those inside of our crafting barrel real quickly. I'm going to plant these coconuts. And in case of fire, I'll probably try to dig up just about everything over here, in all honesty. We might need to fertilize those. I'm not 100% sure about fertilizing. We may need to, though, but how we get fertilizer out of any of this ish, kind of sketchy. In general, I don't really plant grass very often. The reason for not planting grass is because I feel like you got to fertilize it, and it's such a big undertaking, especially in the early game when you don't really have time for extra stuff. You're just trying to get by. Our food situation is already pretty nasty. I mean, we got limpets, so we'll be fine. Got some seeds over here, too, if we really got to make this work. So let's say that I feed you some seeds. Are you going to shit for me? Doesn't look like he's going to poop for me. Huh. Alright, so it looks like maybe the goalpost has changed a little bit for the acquisition of manure, because he doesn't appear to be pooping at all. And usually when I need poop, I either find a pig village or I find a muffalo or whatever the hell area. I'm going to cook a couple of these. We got a lot of food, but not a ton of food. We've got enough. We're getting by right now. And then I'll think about starting a fire, which should be pretty easy, actually. I'm going to eat the limpets first. We'll see where that leaves us in terms of our stomach situation. Oh, the sandcastle, I guess, does not stay up that long. So we would have to use seashells pretty frequently in order to keep that up and running. That's cool. We're learning new things. That's the biggest part about this, is that you just got to learn where all the new stuff is at. I went through the same transitional period when I was playing Reign of Giants the first time. It's just like there's a lot of new stuff, and you just got to keep an eye on it. There's not a whole lot more you can do other than that. If we wanted to be really productive, I could light a torch right now. And then we light that tree on fire. And this might be a pretty good controlled burn. I don't know. I'll probably try to get that one lit too. But the accident we may run into here is that this is very, very risky. I might burn down too much. And if you burn down too much, you run the risk of clearing all of the useful stuff off of your island. And then you're truly screwed when it comes to getting charcoal and things like that. And in fact, I think we would have to relocate our base at that point if I accidentally like burn down my tree crop or something like that, which, believe me, has happened. Come on, fire, don't go out on me. We'll let this torch burn out too while we're out here. Night times are short enough to where our beard's getting kind of large. That also makes me worried. Light one more tree. And then maybe light this guy. I think I should probably also be picking up the ashes, because I think we can use those for healing items or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but in my experience, it's useful in one way or another. You need it for something. And this should give us the charcoal supply we need in order to make our first couple. Actually, we might want to consider burning stuff down on a neighboring map instead of burning down the resources on our own map. I'd like to get maybe 3 to 4 drying racks up and running. It would be the smarter solution here. I'm going to try and get my seashells back today, too. Oh, the berry bush is way up there. Okay, so maybe I'll burn down this little thicket, too. Although my torch is no longer functional. So I guess that would throw a wrench in that plan or a torch in that plan or whatever tool you want to be thrown inside that plan. That's what's going to be inside that plan, and there's nothing you could do about it. It's done. Over. Finished. Finito va Mussolini. We're moving on. I think I'm going to take a little bit of wood on this side, because if there's one thing I like to do in the afternoon is take a little bit of wood. Alright, a couple more fronds. And once again, we're just relocating these trees. We're not going to be eating these. It's mostly just us moving them back to a location where they'll grow for a little while, and we can start to get resources out of them. And then finally, we'll probably check the crab traps on our way back too. I doubt that we caught anything this soon, but we may have. We might have been able to. I think a fishing rod is going to be a good call in this expansion as well, and so I would strongly consider the acquisition of a fishing rod. Is there anything you can do with the debris? Like, can you light it on fire or do anything with it? It kind of seems like it's just sort of there, and I don't really have many uses for it. Oh, we got another tree over here. Great. I apologize if this was not the most stimulating of episodes, but you're going to have to do this at some point. Part of lasting a long time in this game is having a game plan and not just like running around willy-nilly and doing whatever the hell you want for hours and hours and hours. Because then you're inevitably going to run into some kind of phenomena that you're just not prepared for, and you're going to get toppled, and then you got to upload it to YouTube, and then everybody makes fun of you, and it's just unpleasant all day long. And so, since I'd like my life to be pleasant all day long, all day, every day, shit. Well, that sucks. Hey. Hey, those are mine, birdie. Get out of here. Those are my poop seeds. Better back up. Only I may eat the fruits of the booty butt. Oh, and we did, in fact, get ourselves a crab over on this side. Good. That is satisfactory. Oh, I got my backpack with me. I forgot about that. Caught another one over there, too. Well, good. We'll have something to throw on the drying rack, then. Set that trap right there. Good, good, good. Happy as a clam, although sad as a crab seems like it's murdering the crab. I don't know if I would count it technically as, like, legal murder. Like, murder in a legal sense. I mean, the crab kind of had it coming. You don't know what this crab is capable of. You don't know what he's done to his community. He shits where he eats. He sells on his own streets. Let's go ahead and grab that right there. Good. Our food supply is looking pretty awesome. I don't know how long it's going to take those to grow. Might take a little bit. It may be troublesome, but we'll sort it out. I need the drying rack. That's what I needed next. And so since we have structure... No, it was under the food menu. And for the food menu... Oh, look at that. We can make a mussel stick. So it takes seaweed, it takes a vine, and it takes 2 bamboo. Okay, we'll work on that next. I needed... For the drying rack, 3 ropes. Okay, I knew I forgot something in here. Let's go ahead and grab the ropes real fast. This will clear out a little bit of our inventory. And one thing at a time. That's all you can do. I'm going to try and build away from the beach, by the way. I probably should have thought about that a little bit better. I'm a tiny bit worried that our whole base is going to get flooded. Because if you look at the sand line right here, that tends to be where the water goes up to in real life. So if I murder you... There it is. We'll start working on some meat on this side. I am a tiny bit concerned that this is going to play out oddly once winter and monsoon season start to get here and the island starts to be overtaken by rando nonsense. Worst case scenario is that I leave everything where it's at, but I bust this up and I bust the fire up and we move it a little bit further inland and then everything else is okay. I don't think it's going to be that major of an issue. I do think we should totally make one of those bamboo stick things though. So let's go gather some bamboo real fast unless I got some laying around here. I think I used it all up for... I'm like almost positive that I used it all up working on... I think the raft maybe. So there we go. In and out your ear. Rocking like bamboo. Rocking like bamboo. Bing, bang, bong, 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 bong. Don't ask. It's a Bay Area thing. It's a song. It's... No, I don't think most people will know about it, in all honesty. The Bay Area music scene is very, very insular. Like, because the Bay Area has so many people. I don't know if people realize this. California has more people than Australia. Like, California is really, really... It's not crowded either. It just goes on forever. California is enormous. And so I try to let people know how big California is. Because people are like, oh, you're from California? That's pretty cool. So how come you haven't been anywhere? Well, because you got to drive 12 hours in any direction to be anywhere other than California. I mean, it's 16 hours north to get to Oregon. If you want to get down to Mexico, it's bare minimum like 12, 13 hours. If you want to get to Nevada, that's a 4 or 5 hour drive. So that's probably your best bet is to fly to the, like get out to the east as fast as you can if you're really trying to move along. But that's what I'm saying. California's enormous. It just like never ends. And so anyways, it's also quite populous. There's a lot of people here. Did Sid Meier's make Populous back in the day? Populous was dope. That was a hella fun game. Populous was off the chain. I'm playing Thea right now, though, too. Keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be doing the weekly indie newcomer on it, and if it turns out to be something that people really, really like, I will strongly consider doing a series, because, I don't know, I don't like the combat system in Thea. I'm kind of in a weird place with Thea where I like the game, but I dislike the combat system. And so it's just like, I avoid combat as much as possible, which is unique for me, because normally I'm a bit of a warmonger when I play 4X games. It's usually the quickest way to get anything done is just wipe everybody else out after you got your infrastructure up and running. Welcome to life living next to Splattercat. It's going to be an issue for you. We probably should go out. Looks like I didn't catch any crabs over here, which in one sense is good, in another sense is bad. Got a little bit of fish morsel over here. Really, really wishing that we could get a second drying rack up and running. At least 2 to 3 of them. It makes the food last a really, really long time. Oh, good, those are growing. That makes me happy. There was no knowing whether or not that would be growing, and so since they weren't showing... my good vibes were not flowing. Go ahead and make one of these little guys real fast. Throw that on. We'll light this up. It's a full moon, which makes me think I have to be worried. I think we can stay out during the full moon, actually. I think if he comes out of his house, he metamorphoses into some crazy hog beast type thing. For reference, there's a your mom joke in there somewhere. But I'm a nice guy, so I'm not going to make that joke. But were I a more crass individual, there would be a, like, see your mom in the dictionary for that one. Or in the encyclopedia. Nobody has encyclopedias anymore. I would assume that the encyclopedia is a real hard business to be in right about now. I feel kind of bad for him, but then on the other side, I don't really. The monster doesn't come out when it's full moon, so don't worry about it. Although other weird things can occur when the full moon is out, so be aware. Strange things might happen. Things can transpire. Yeah, that water is flowing. It's getting up here. So I'm thinking as the season gets later and later and later, it might be a stroke of wisdom for us to maybe... I built by the beach in general to stay away from the threat of the jungle, which was mostly snakes and things of that nature. It's a little bit unfortunate. It's okay, though. Once we get the sledgehammer, most of the stuff we have is replaceable and easily renewed anyways, so... We're not losing much. The science machine is still functional during... Oh, shit. What kind of snake is that? That snake looks a little bit meaner than the previous couple versions. I'm not trying to, like, profile snakes or anything, but he does look a little bit... Based on his coloration, I'm a little bit worried about this snake. He might be trouble. Oh, shit. Snakes coming out of everywhere nowadays. Maybe it's because there's less bushes for them to live in because I keep whacking them with my machete. That's gotta be what it is. I think they recede back inside the vines, and I'm destroying the places where they can go. And so they're all dogpiling back into like similar locations. Or maybe it's just like the snake. It might be like the spider things from the previous games where the spiders just keep multiplying, getting nastier, and generally just being a pain in the ass the longer you allow them to exist. I would like to use these pickaxes. The axe is not going to be immediately useful. Neither, say, is the shovel. Neither, say, is the torch. Yeah, I might scoot things a little bit further in this direction in just a little while. Not right now, but yeah, it looks like the sandy piles come back, so that'll be good. Grass supply is looking okay. Food supply, not so okay. But we've got a muscle stick that we can make pretty soon. So as far as food is concerned, was it in here? A muscle stick. So we need seaweed in order to make that work. All right, let's jump on the raft. We're going to take a little trip around town here, because we could use a little bit of seaweed anyways. And I'm going to break off the episode right now. I'm going to go around and gather up some of the seaweed while we wait. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcast for the next episode of Don't Starve Shipwrecked. I look forward to seeing you all in future episodes. I hope you like the series. I don't know. I meant it sort of as a little replacement for Just Cause 3 since everybody didn't really seem to be enjoying it that much. I got a lot of negative comments and a lot of just sort of emails and things about it where I think people were not feeling the game. That's fine by me. You know, I'm all about community focus here. There are times where I'll be selfish and I'll just do like whatever the hell I want. But a lot of the time, I really just want to play something that I have a good time playing while at the same time entertaining all of you. And so, you know, I was kind of mediocre on Just Cause 3 anyways. I played it on the channel. I'm happy that I played it on the channel. But I'll probably finish it off by myself. I will see you all later. Hi to everybody.